Hi guys, this is X-Man. I'm here with Chivi. You saw one video from him, just to show you guys what he can do. But I'm here with Chivi because we both got accepted to test the beta for Elder Scrolls Online. We're gonna have a bit of a conversation. The first session to test the beta is tomorrow, so we're gonna talk a little bit about it and ask a few questions, see if we can get those answered for you while we do the beta. So, Chivi, why don't you go ahead and start us off?
One of the more interesting things that I'm really wondering about is if how good like the customization is. Because normally any Elder Scrolls game has a badass customization to it. And I love that. I want to see how much I can do to push it to its limit to see how good of a character I can make just before I can even start it. Because I can guarantee you I'm probably gonna spend at least 2 hours on that just alone, because that's what I do.
That's true. I used to get pretty crazy with the customizations in the Elder Scrolls. Even now, I still do it just because I'm a nerd like that. Uh, I have entire backstories made for like each and every one of my characters. You can literally go into some of my save files and ask me what this person's story is, and I'll tell you. So it's pretty bad that way. I do that with a lot of customization games, but it's definitely a well-known trait of the Elder Scrolls, even since before that kind of stuff was popular. So I definitely like to see a good comeback for the customization. And as a longtime Elder Scrolls fan, something I'm personally worried about is how much they'll support the single player since this is an MMO. Now I know you can choose whether or not you're even going to play with people, but what I want to know is whether or not you can play just without a server. Period. Like, will you be restricted to servers like other MMOs to where you actually require a internet connection to even play the game? Which would personally upset me just because I have seen many things in the footage of the game that would allow you to play without anybody, without a server, if you wanted to. So it would be a shame to see that go to waste in a strictly online game.
Yeah, I can understand that. I mean, like, I mean, I think I speak for everybody when I say this, but we have been waiting for this forever.
It's
Like,
it,
oh
yeah.
my god. Like, when Skyrim came out and it wasn't online, I was like, the fuck? What did you guys do? This was supposed to be the one that was online. But I understand what you're saying, because, that's like, it's also another one of the things that I also want to do is, go through the single player or the campaign, whatever, um, and actually experience it just by myself, and then when I want to, go with friends to go do it, and that being another thing, there has been like a lot of complaints about the fact that it's you have to pay $15 a month, and you know they have to start from somewhere. I mean, you kind of like really can't launch a free to play thing like immediately. I mean, look at what happened to Star Wars. It was, and then it went to free to play, and then same thing with Champions. I mean, it was like that too. I
Uh,
I would I would hope they wouldn't go to free to play though, because this is something that I would pay forever for.
I see your point with the eventually it'll be free thing because I actually have played Knights of the Old Republic after it became free. It was a decent game, but it not necessarily something I want to pay for. But Elder Scrolls I probably would. I mean I pay for Xbox Live now anyway. Uh, but uh, one of your questions was already kind of answered. Like I mentioned earlier, you can choose whether or not you can actually play with people or not. So you can actually choose to join an instance with other people. But what I'm worried about is whether it has to be on a server when you're playing at all.
Yeah, well,
They showed what you were talking about at QuakeCon. Another thing we're concerned about, Chibi agreed it was a good question, that with, like, for you guys, obviously, it probably won't matter much, but for us that are testing the beta, will our characters actually go over into the actual game when they finish it? because our account is already on their website, so I would imagine it might have a similar system to APB where I moved over to a completely different computer, but since I still logged on the same account, I still had my characters I made.
Yeah, I mean, cause it's a whole waste of time to like recreate it again, and it's like, I would hope that they would try to. That's what I'm hoping for, and I just hope in the right mind they do that.
Yeah.
Hopefully. I mean, it's pretty much all we can do at this point. Just hope. 'Cause who knows how close they are to being done with it. I mean, like, what? This is like, oh God, I don't even know. This is like the fifth or sixth time. I think they've sent invites or something. I don't know exactly, but
Uh, it
7 months ago. 7
Si-
months ago.
since they're launching the beta, it probably won't take long for them to make the actual game after they close the beta. I remember Google Chrome. I know it's completely unrelated, but I remember Google Chrome. They had a beta going up for a while when I first started using the internet. Uh, but like I would see ads for it and stuff. But eventually I stopped seeing the ads for the beta, and I eventually saw ads for the actual browser not long afterwards. So I would assume that if they're in the beta stage, they're pretty close to the game release. Remember with Halo Reach, they let you play the multiplayer beta on the ODST disc.
I remember it, but I didn't actually have ODST at the time. But
I
I do remember other people talking about that,
Yeah,
and that being the thing.
I did actually, but I did not have a Xbox Live. Uh,
Oh.
I mean, I couldn't even connect to the internet with my Xbox before. I've never done it before. I didn't have a wireless router, but I I remember seeing some footage from the beta though, the online beta, and one of the weapons was so much different. I mean, it worked exactly the same, but the look was so much different. So it shows you how close they are, yet how much they can change from the beta to the actual game.
Yeah.
So that I suppose could interfere with the created character made for the beta. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then there's so much that's similar as well. I mean, for example, the armor from Halo Reach never changed. In fact, I don't even think they let you customize your armor or anything like that. But that really wasn't one of those games where people were concerned with their customizations because, first of all, they didn't really give you the option to do that. Second of all, it's not like an Elder Scrolls game where that's such a big thing.
Yeah. Oh. Oh no 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 no. But I mean, cause like I remember when my dad was telling me that oh dude, you need to sign up for this today, and then like the second I got home, I did it, and I filled. God, I don't. It was pretty long. It was probably like about 2.5 pages long. Like why they should recommend me to send
Oh
it.
yeah, I
mean,
remember that. I actually mentioned the channel in the first one I ever sent.
but so like, and this isn't the first one that I've done. I mean, I remember
yeah,
doing
yeah.
a beta for Terra. I remember doing a beta for Rift. I remember doing one for I did one for Knights of the Old Republic too. So this isn't new to me. I've beta tested before. Just I like getting to know the game before I actually get it. But this one I'm probably gonna buy anyways. It probably won't matter. I will buy this one because it's fucking Elder Scrolls. I love this series so much.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember I applied for the beta I think maybe 4 times at least. So I'm not sure which one of those actually got me accepted. But I've never been a part of a beta before though, so this is kind of a new experience for me. But I mean, it's Elder Scrolls, so I think this is as good a time as any. I mean,
Oh,
I've been playing. I first played Daggerfall, which a lot of the Elder Scrolls fans say don't even remember, just because they started with Morrowind when it came out in 2001. But Daggerfall was the one before Morrowind that was more like a Duke Nukem style, but it was that old. That's the graphics. It had the 2D sprites on the screen, shit like that. It was I think it came out in 1995, maybe around that time at least. And I remember playing that at for the first time at 6 years old. So I've been an Elder Scrolls player for a long ass time. So yeah,
Yeah, I pretty much like everybody else. I started on Morrowind and I had an Xbox, so
I see.
always loved playing it though. Oh my
Oh,
god.
oh yeah.
And then when that expansion came out for
The
it,
Tribunal, yeah.
yeah. Ah, God, that takes me back.
Oh, and then the Blood Moon expansion, which made me happy because I always liked being a werewolf in Daggerfall. In Morrowind, they didn't have werewolves at first; they only had the vampires. But then they did the Blood Moon expansion, which took place on Solstein, which is
Yeah.
that part of Skyrim is a little island, a little bit north of Vardenfell. And they had werewolves there because it was part of Skyrim, I guess. I guess that was their excuse at least. But they actually really haven't talked about it at all. But I did hear the dev mention in an interview, just, oh, well, when you're a vampire or a werewolf, it's like, wait, holy shit, when did this come in? So apparently we can do that. They just haven't really talked about it at all yet. So that makes me happy that you have that option, because that just adds a whole new element to the game, first of all, and especially with the Elder Scrolls Online, because just imagine this, Chibi. You're in one of those big, massive PvP battles, and then all of a sudden you're fighting a guy that turns into a fucking werewolf and tears you apart. That just changes the whole game entirely, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Ah, my God.
Excited?
I'm like overhyping right now.
Yeah, if I'm a fanboy of anything, it's Elder Scrolls.
Oh, I'm a fanboy of a lot of stuff. Oh God, I haven't something this big. Oh, not ever before have I done this. It makes me feel really good that I can be a part of this.
Yeah, I remember you mentioned that in Skyrim you really expected that to be the one that was the multiplayer one. I always remember when I was playing Oblivion, it's like, what if this was an online game? What if there's a guy like right over there that I could go adventure with? So that is definitely something even Elder Scrolls fans have won for a while, I think. At least I have, and you have.
Yeah, definitely.
But I still have that concern of whether or not it will be required that you're on a server to play the game at all, because that would be unfortunate, if you ask me.
Yeah, it would kind of suck.
I mean, I didn't mean to bring it back to that. We kind of already covered that, but it just, kind of adding on to it. It's just one of those elements you shouldn't really replace in a game series like this.
Yeah, I mean, you should definitely have both. I think for something like this, I think it would be a need to not have to be online to actually play the campaign.
Yeah. And sure, they wouldn't have the monthly payment if you weren't playing online, but let's face it, Chibi. How many of these do you think they're gonna fucking sell on opening day? How many of these do you think they're gonna have pre-ordered when you're able to pre-order them? I don't know if you are already, actually, but
I don't think you can pre-order it yet.
Yeah, I didn't think so either. But just
if there was a pre-order, I would already have it.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna hurt their wallets at all to let people play the single player
edition. I would already have that.
Exactly. I really don't think it's going to hurt their wallets at all if they have like a single player that you don't have to pay for. I mean, after you bought the game, you know what I mean? There was something else I wanted to cover. Well, I'm thinking about that. Anything you want to say? Oh yeah.
Well,
oh, sorry.
Well, I just hope that they try to well, since they focused on, the third one, Morrowind, was, where the Dark Elves were from. Cyrodiil was from where, like, the Imperials and shit were from. And then Skyrim was kind of, like, all Nord shit. Like, I kind of, like, want them, well, because I know that they're already, like, kind of doing that with, like, the three, the three tribe things.
The three, what's it called?
They're like pacts or something.
Yeah, like there's the Evanhart Pact, but there's a word for it that I can't think of though. Alliance. The three alliances. There you go.
There you go. Yeah, the three alliances. Yeah, but like I know like I just hope that theirs like somehow um, is kind of like that, but like I don't know.
Uh, something I would appreciate if the viewer did, like even if you don't use the video in this, just let Bethesda, I mean not Bethesda, they're not developing this directly. Let ZeniMax know that single player element would be a good idea, just because. Remember the public outcry when there was no first person? Do you remember that, Chivi? And
Oh,
and they fixed that immediately. So
everybody got pissed off.
I'm sure if people, just enough people just let them know, like, hey, we would really appreciate, the option of single player without a server. I think they would probably try to work that in before they release the actual game. And I can't imagine it would be that hard. I mean, they have something. I don't know if you ever played Red Dead Redemption Online, but
Yeah.
the way they have their online setup, sounds a lot like that. Just in the way, remember, you could go into a private session where you're away from everybody, and then if you wanted to play with other people, you could just go from the select menu, and you had all those game types. You would instantly go back. You would go and play with other people, but once the game was over and you stopped, you would also go right back to your private session unless you chose to do otherwise. You remember that?
Yeah.
So that's what it sounds like with this. However, I mean, like, it sounds like a very similar system what they have going on with the Elder Scrolls Online, but with Red Dead Redemption, you couldn't really play with any of that online stuff, not even the private session, if you weren't connected to Xbox Live.
Yeah.
But the thing with that was their online sessions were just set in the massive open world that the single player takes place in, so it really was the same world, so I guess it didn't matter as much. But with the Elder Scrolls Online, if you can't play at all without being on a server, that could be an issue.
Yeah, I would definitely hope that they do that, because that might break my heart.
Mine too.
I would still play it, but it
Yeah.
would kind of,
it kind of wouldn't be
it
as
would
fun.
hurt a little bit.
Like say if I'm playing a game with somebody and I had to wait for them to play the story anymore. It's like I'm chosen for the rest of this game, man. You know what I mean? It's like I can't play it. It sucks. But it's one thing if I'm playing with somebody and that's why I'm waiting, or if I literally just can't play it and I'm forced not to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So so I've always been a huge fan of something interesting about the Elder Scrolls Online is that I've always been a huge fan of the Dark Elves. I've literally played as a Dark Elf for at least every game.
Same here, dude.
Yeah. But the thing is, I mean, my second favorite race would be the Bretons, just because they're more of a magical type people. But they also have like, they just seem more agile than the Norse to me. I mean, even in the trailer, you got that one fucking assassin dude that's running around, and I'm pretty sure he's a Breton because the High Elves and the Nords are already taken up on the other one. So,
yeah.
So, and also as for the story, I don't know if you heard anything about this, Chibi. There's a different story for each faction, and why they want to win the war. And to me, like, I think the one with the Bretons is the Ebonheart Pact, but I honestly like the story for the Bretons and stuff more. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I don't know what your take is on that. And I would play as them just because of that. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I've always, there's just always something about the Dark Elf that I just really loved, and I don't know. Like, there's just something there that I was like, yeah, I want to be Dark Elf. Because they look fucking badass.
Yeah.
It's something about it that I was just like...
It's like they've got that magical elven element to them, but they're like fucking... They've got this gray-ass skin, these red eyes, they look fucking badass.
Yeah.
They're the cause of the Dark Brotherhood, for fuck's sake.
Yeah,
but,
I mean, like...
but, like, it's not like if we play as a Breton, we're restricted from Morrowind. They've already said that. You can travel wherever you want.
Yeah.
But it's just that you wouldn't be playing as a Dark Elf. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. I mean, oh my god, like, I really just want to, like, walk through it all. and just be like,
Yeah, I mean,
I
that's
just
also another
walked through
interesting
all
part.
of that. I walked through back there, Cyrodiil. I walked from Morrowind and all this stuff.
They've also got a pretty big challenge on their plates because think about it. For completely different reasons on both sides, they cannot fuck up the places people have seen before, and they cannot fuck up the new places. You know what I mean?
Oh,
I mean, if
huh.
I'm walking through fucking Cyrodiil, I see like a hill out of place, I might actually notice. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
But I mean, I'm not gonna get on for a hill being out of place. But I mean, something important, like to give you an example, I don't know if you got the chance to play the what was it, the Dragonborn DLC for Skyrim.
Yeah, I did.
I was actually fairly disappointed in their portrayal of Solstein. As much as I still had to play it, I'm fairly disappointed. Like, I would go to... Because, with Dawnguard, they had all those new models and everything. But with Dragonborn, they kind of reused some, and it failed because of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I don't know if you remember Fort Frostmoth.
yeah.
Or was it Moonmoth, one of the two? Anyway, it looked completely fucking different from the way it, like, even, yeah, it's a fucking ruin, but just the structure of the building looked completely fucking different than the way it did in Morrowind, which upset me when I went there because I was so excited to see. It's like, oh, this is the first place you come to in Morrowind when you're playing the DLC, and and then I get there, it's like, this doesn't look the same at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like even the inside was so much smaller, which was kind of disappointing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it wasn't even set up remotely the same. It was more like your average tomb in Skyrim is what it was set up like. So that could be really disappointing if I walk into Morrowind and they fuck up Balmora, which is my fucking favorite town for whatever reason I don't know in Morrowind. So
My favorite was always, God, like, I haven't played Morrowind forever. Like, I've forgotten, like, all the names for everything.
yeah,
The town where, like, everybody was, like, wearing glass armor, that was my favorite town.
have I not been to that? In all the years I've played Morrowind, have I not been to that?
Or the guards were wearing
Yeah,
everybody.
I still don't recall a town where anybody's wearing glass armor normally.
Really?
Really? I must have
That's
completely
weird.
missed that. It must have been some place you found, like just traveling around, and like you can't really travel to conventionally.
I don't think it was in the downloadable content. But yeah, like a really neat thing about that was like I used to go to that town in particular, kill all the guards, take all of their glass armor, and then I would go to what was if you had the actual map of like Morrowind,
Oh
like
yeah, you
there's
told me
like
about this. I'll let you tell it.
there's like this little mini island thing, and like you go to it and you go to the talking mud crab and like you sell it, and he gives you like 10,000 for like the gold set of armor, and he's the only person who gives you that much. And well, and the only thing about it is you would have to wait like a couple days. And
Yeah.
obviously, if you kill him, he doesn't have anything. Which like you would think that he would, but he doesn't. But you know, it was a neat little thing that they had that I liked a lot that they had in Morrowind.
I've actually not gone and done that. I mean, like not even after you told me that. Like that's just one of the things in Morrowind I never found. I actually like apparently that town you're talking about, but I do have a map for the Xbox version, the original Xbox. I have the Game of the Year edition. There's a map in there, so I could probably use that to find what you're talking about sometime. But I wonder if it would be in More Oblivion, because I actually got More Oblivion for my Oblivion, because when you go to play Morrowind from playing Skyrim, it's all so great, but that combat, that combat is fucking horrible.
Yeah.
So I got more Oblivion. It's just Morrowind basically on the Oblivion engine, and it works so much better. And it's pretty enjoyable to play. So I wonder if that would be on there. Maybe that's something I should go do before I play Elder Scrolls Online.
I don't think it would have changed. I mean, I wouldn't know because I've never played
Yeah.
More or Oblivion on my computer because I don't have money. So
Well, the thing is, they're not like taking the land straight out of Morrowind.
yeah,
They have to actually rebuild the entire land. It is a mod, so they have to rebuild the entire landscape. So the question would be, did they manage to get that in there or not? You know what I mean?
I would hope that they wouldn't take it out because it's like one of those things that's
Well,
like
not necessarily take it out, but I mean, I didn't even know about it until you told me about it, and that was what, maybe a half a year ago.
yeah.
So
Well, because like I like the people that I was living with at the time, like he showed me like what I was supposed to do, and I was like, oh, I've been doing this wrong the whole time. I should have been going here and doing that.
uh, on the topic of Morrowind, and since we're kind of getting off the topic of Elder Scrolls Online, to try to get us back to that, we're kind of reminiscing of the old days right now. I remember when I was playing Morrowind one time, I was a bit younger. I think I was like maybe 12. Uh, I actually got in the water off the shore of Vivek or something nearby there, and I started swimming because I wanted to see if there was anything past all this big water. And there was, of course, absolutely nothing except a shit ton of dreg in the water. Uh, like, I mean, I had like shit tons of dreg just chasing me through the water. It was ridiculous. But so that'll be. Oh, and even in the Dragonborn DLC, I remember being on Solstein, and then I look off in the distance and I see Red Mountain in the background with the smoke coming off of it, and even the landmass looked like it might be 3D. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's even recently. Uh, I got in the water, it just started swimming, and then it just wouldn't let me swim anymore. So, uh, that'll definitely be a nice thing about Elder Scrolls Online is where now when I get off that land mass and go swim somewhere, I'll actually hit more land. I'll actually get to see the rest of Morrowind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Uh, and that's something I'm curious about, seeing the places we haven't seen yet, like High Rock and Valenwood and Somerset Isle and Black Marsh, all those different places. We can go across all of those apparently. So I'm definitely excited to see that. There was also a mod for Oblivion that let you go to elsewhere. So I don't know how much they base that off like books in the game or something. So I don't know how actually accurate that incarnation of elsewhere is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see that as well. Like, I mean, obviously I could probably never find there's so many books, I could probably never fucking find the book that talks about elsewhere. Yeah. It'd be pretty interesting to see that.
Yeah, definitely.
What was it you were saying before I had to cut you off?
Well, you were talking about Elsword.
Elsewhere.
Yeah, well, whatever. Ah, God, I am horrible with names.
Don't worry about it.
Jeez.
Yeah. It's like we're running out of stuff to talk about. We're like on a roll for the first, what was it, 10 minutes at least?
Yeah, I know.
Probably 20, actually. So yeah. Apparently they're gonna have like the loot and stuff instanced to you, which is a good thing, because
Oh yeah,
it
definitely.
it like I've never had to experience this, but I'm sure it eliminates a lot of problems for people that played demos before. And one thing it would eliminate for me as well. I remember this one MMO I played. Basically, it would prevent cheating because, like on the Elder Scrolls Online, it would prevent cheating because we had this one guy, just fucking, who was like a tank, a high level dude, and we were all these like low level people. He was like helping us out, and he would go and like take down all these fucking higher level monsters that were like nothing to him. And not only would we get XP, but he could also give us the expensive shit that he picked up from him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, like probably that you still get the expensive shit, but you know.
Yeah, I mean, like, cause I hope they try to do it somewhat like similar to like for instance like Borderlands, how they have like their epic loot system, or like their loot system is like color coordinated, so it's like you can tell like something's worth more than it just being,
Yeah,
just some random
yeah.
piece of equipment or some random sword.
I'm also kind of curious about guilds because they did mention guilds are going to be in the game, but I'm wondering how intricate that will be, or how many of the guilds they will have, because they already mentioned the Mages Guild and the Fighters Guild, but I'm wondering, like, fucking Dark Brotherhood, will they have, what else is there besides Dark Brotherhood? They even have those guilds that are specific to Skyrim, you know what I mean? So maybe that will
Yeah.
come into play on the specific alliance that has the Nords and the Dark Elves and the Argonians. So,
Mhm.
like, they have Yorvaskr, and they have the College of Winterhold.
Yeah.
What else is there? Oh yeah, the Thieves Guild. There's also the Thieves Guild. I knew I was forgetting something important. I never really played as the Thieves Guild. That's probably why. I mean, I did do it, but it's not something that I particularly went out of my way to do a lot, unless I've already done like what I wanted to with my other characters. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I did like everything in that game. I literally did everything possible.
Yeah, me. I would just I would go with, you know, the personality my character has, and like if it's a good guy or bad guy. So for
I
my
was
original dude, the Dark Brother wasn't for him. You know what I mean?
bad.
So I actually went and made another character that, well, the Dark Brotherhood was for that person. So yeah, and there was also like even those smaller factions. Like I'd never experienced this, but apparently in Morrowind, there's like clans for vampires. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, that's right.
And then and then in Skyrim, in the I mean not Dawnguard, Dragonborn DLC, they really should have two DLCs that both start with a D. Uh, like you, even though it wasn't really that intricate, my first character who I first went there with was a werewolf. So I went there and I actually ran into this pack of werewolves, and they were actually friendly to me and like, here, we'll give you some shit and we'll trade with you and all that. It's like, Jesus, okay, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And bringing up the topic of vampires and werewolves, that also leads me to question, what about the other creatures that are in the game? Or I mean, in the lore, I should say. Uh, like, you never played Daggerfall, so you wouldn't know this. But in Daggerfall, not only was there the vampire and the werewolf, but there was also the wereboar.
Oh God.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah. I'd actually been a wereboar before too, so you could be like this freaking warthog werewolf thing, basically. Uh,
Wow.
and then I don't know if you ever found this in the Dragonborn DLC, but if you go to a specific spot on the map that the werewolf pack actually mentions, you'll actually run into a few werebears.
Yeah, I did.
You ran into that? Yeah.
Yeah, I did run into that.
And then as a joke, one of them was carrying a thing of honey.
Uh-huh.
um, and as for vampires, they had that vampire lord thing in the Dawnguard DLC, which was actually pretty cool because,
Oh,
it was almost like in Skyrim, the vampire was just there. You know what I mean? The vampire was just there. And then, like, the Dawnguard DLC gave them, like, this fucking cool perk to being a vampire. You know what I mean? Like, you
uh-huh.
had that castle you go to where there was those blood potion, there's a vampire lord form.
Yeah.
Now, it would actually be really excusable of them, though, not to have it in ESO, just because, remember, in the story for Dawnguard, that was just a thing that Lord Harkon had. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
But then again, he is also extremely fucking old, predating the current Empire. So,
Yeah.
he could still be in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Which would be really, really kind of cool to see him in there.
Yeah, that would be neat. Uh, like just seeing familiar faces or familiar places. Well, I mean, obviously familiar places, but familiar faces. Like in once again the Dawnguard DLC in the Soul Karen, you played Morrowind, so you would actually know this face. You could run into Jib, the guy you see at the very start of the game, who's a prisoner with you on the boat from Morrowind. Yeah, and then there's that whole kind of funny little story he had to him that he was famous in life because he actually killed all the cliff racers in Morrowind, the biggest pieces of shit in Morrowind. So that was pretty funny. It's like, yeah, those cliff racers were annoying, so I kind of made it my mission to go kill them all. And apparently he did it. But then he died in the Oblivion Crisis, which was also kind of neat to know that he was there, like, right before you got there, Gavach. So, well, what do you think, like, alternate stories? I mean, obviously they're going to have them, but are they going to be as intricate as, like, the Dark Brotherhood or the Fighters Guild or the College of Winterhold? You know what I mean? How they had those those stories, they could be their own games. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's certainly room for all of that, and I could definitely see, like, even after the game's done, if they really wanted to, they could just continue that just with, like, downloadable content. That would be fucking cool.
Yeah,
I would love to do that shit.
They absolutely could too. I mean, it wouldn't be the first time an Elder Scrolls game has done it. So there's absolutely
definitely
room for that. Like, the Second War for the Crown, the Rebellion or something. So, yeah, there's definitely plenty of room for more DLC. I mean, it seems like the tradition for the Elder Scrolls games is like just 2 things of DLC, not including Hearthfire, just because that was kind of a small thing. They're like, let's give this to the guys. I mean, they even gave it to you really cheap. It was like $5, as opposed to, like, I think it was the $20 of the other DLCs.
Yeah, they were about 20.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, what are you planning on going as there?
Oh, well, like I said, I am kind of into this story for the Bretons and whatever else is in their little thing. I don't actually know. I think the Red Guards are there because actually Hammerfell was actually in Daggerfall as well. It was both High Rock and Hammerfell. So I'm pretty sure they're part of the alliance with them. And then maybe the Orcs are too, I think. But I'm definitely going to be a Breton, just because I do like the story from them, and I think I'll be more like a rogue character, you know what I mean? A little bit of magic, just because I do like a little bit, like the destruction shit, and it comes in handy, and like some of the other stuff comes in handy, but I'm not horribly avid unless I go out of my way to be, you know what I mean? So I'll basically just be like an all-purpose kind of bow, sword, and, sneaking around it, and a little bit of magic.
Yeah.
So probably a little bit of healing and a little bit of destruction in there. What about you?
I'm gonna go as a dark elf, as I always do.
I hope that
it's kind of been the staple with me. I always go with the dark elf first thing.
Yeah.
It's just something about it that I don't know. Like, I really liked about it, Morrowind, and it just kind of carried over.
Yeah.
And, like, really funny thing about that is, like, this was, like, way, way, way back. Like, so I was friends with, like, this one chick, and, like, so we had been talking for, like, a really long time, and, she was a pretty good friend. And then, what was it, like 2 years ago, she, like, passed away. So,
Jeez.
yeah, it was pretty heartbreaking for me. So every game that I've now done since that's happened, I always play a female, because that's normally what I do. But in dedication to her, I always put the name Lucy May, because that was her name, in honor of her, because I talked to her more than anybody that I ever had, ever, and she shared the same passion that I had for gaming, and was kind of a sad time when she passed away. So every female character is always Lucy May, just in dedication of her.
Jeez, Chibi, I never knew that about you. You guys heard it first, YouTube. Before I ever did. How good of friends are we, Chibi? Anyway, and that brings up the question, since me and you kind of want to be on opposite sides of the fucking map. Like, literally, people have probably seen by now, I have the map literally as my desktop picture right now, so there is Morrowind right here. That's where Chibi wants to be. And over here, this is where I want to be. So, we've got Skyrim and Cyrodiil in between us. So, so I guess that's kind of the question, like, how easy will it be for friends on opposite sides of the fucking map to play with each other? You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
And that also brings up a thing, because obviously I want to work with you as much as I can, like, you know, get a little teamwork action going on, but we're completely different fucking factions. So what about in the PvP?
I don't know.
Like, would we just like fucking randomly meet up with each other and start fucking killing each other? It's like, oh, you're on the other side now, I gotta kill you. Or is there actually the possibility of kind of... So yeah, I'm wondering, like, with me and you in the same PvP area, like, or maybe it's not, well, probably me and you, because I don't know who else I'd be playing with, but,
Yeah.
maybe we could have, like, a truce, like say, there's, I mean, like, Cyrodiil is not explorable, and, I mean, I'm sure it's explorable, but it's not like, it's not as safe and shit as, like, the rest of the provinces, just because that's, like, the battleground. That's Cyrodiil.
Yeah.
But, like, maybe we'll have this, little fort over here. There's some fucking Khajiit in there. I want my team in there. You want theirs out. So, maybe I can say, hey, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Let's go fuck them up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and maybe that could be, like, just an organic thing that could happen in the PvP, where the opposite teams end up working together. So I don't know what'll happen, but
Yeah. Well,
I'm just curious how you'll be able to play with your friends that are in another faction. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a big concern for a game like this.
I think it'd be really interesting, just to see how it all like ties in with each other, just with the PvP system.
Yeah, because I remember when I was playing Skyrim, and you know, the little secondary storyline where it's the rebellion.
Oh yeah,
the Stormcloak Rebellion.
The Stormcloaks or the...
Well, I was a Stormcloak, but I went and I actually... There's a funny story behind this, but at least let me get to the point first. We were, sieging Whiterun, and I was having a fucking blast. There was people everywhere, and I fucking launched some catapults. But then I fucking... Now the funny story, I realized something. My wife lives in Whiterun.
Oh god.
And then I didn't even get to enjoy the battle because I'm actually fucking worried about this virtual character. I was like, oh my god, is she okay? And I actually ran to the house during the battle. I was like, oh my god, she's not in here. She's probably dead. I actually recall looking at all the bodies all over the fucking place. See if one was hers. Luckily, that didn't happen. I guess she got somewhere safe.
Oh.
They told me to meet him at Whiterun. They did tell me as soon as you get to Whiterun, we're gonna be fucking sieging that place. You know.
Mine was in Solitude, because that was like that was the last one I think that you had to do. But I remember doing Solitude, and I was just like fucking killing everybody. I think me being my female character, I think I also had a wife.
Well,
it's not like there's anything wrong with that. I mean,
we're open-minded here on this channel, by the way. I'd let people know. Chivi's gay. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm
Oh
kidding.
yeah, totally, dude. All
No,
the time.
I'm kidding. I just fuck with him like he's gay. But that sounded worse than it did in my head. I don't actually fuck him. Uh,
Justin, you're making it worse.
I am making it worse. I'm just gonna stop. I think everybody gets the idea. um. Anyway. But yeah, we're open-minded to homosexuality, but we're not homos ourselves. um. Anyway, on to another topic.
I guess that would kind of be a cool thing too if they brought that back.
Yeah, but then how would it work? Because, I mean, I took a Zelda who was, like, right there in the fucking market stage. It's like, then who are you gonna take? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying you took a Zelda too, but, you know, if,
Yeah.
like, I know other people also chose a Zelda, so, I mean, that could be an issue.
I chose the other dark elf that was like in the Mage's Guild. I think that's who I chose.
Oh.
I don't remember her name.
Isn't bad, though. Anyway.
Just like that. But yeah.
Because, you know, you're into Dark Elves. Don't worry. I am too. Okay. And, I mean, I would imagine that they probably won't do it because I would imagine that's under the same problem as player homes. They already said they're not going to do player homes because that would be extremely fucking hard. And, you know, you can't really have it take up the same space. You know what I mean? That would just be extremely technically difficult, especially for an online game. At least it would be really difficult. So, and I can understand that honestly. I can see. I mean, I have modded Morrowind, Oblivion. I haven't modded Skyrim because I don't have a beefy enough computer for that. For Skyrim, period. But so I mean, I am not. I really don't know a lot about, you know, the technicalities of making a game, but I have a better idea than some, you know what I mean? And I can honestly really see the fucking, I mean, don't even get me started on coding, but I can see the fucking difficulty behind having something like that happen, you know what I mean? So,
I work with coding every fucking day, and I hate it. I hate it, but I love it.
And speaking of my computer not being beefy enough for Skyrim, they actually said they were making this so that even games that were like 4 or 5 years old could play this game. So, as for me testing the game, that would be an interesting thing to see how well it runs on my computer, because it is a brand new computer, but it is the cheapest one I could find. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that would be an interesting. So yeah, that would be an interesting thing to see. I mean, any game I have run on here is either a few years old or fucking Minecraft. So I really have not tested the full capabilities of my computer as for playing games. Actually, I take that back. There are some newer games that I've played that run relatively well, like APB and Star Conflict are 2 games. So, and that's decent, although I go into the options and notice that it actually automatically turns some settings down. So,
yeah,
I would really be interested to see how well they cope with the older computers, because I mean, you just watch a trailer and you can see that, you know, this is not Skyrim. It does not look as good as Skyrim, but that's okay. They still did it well with what they did, but it's obvious they're preparing for something like that. And as well, you know, for an Elder Scrolls game, like, say, Morrowind, what's the thing you remember most about Morrowind? The world, right?
Yeah.
In fucking Skyrim, you remember the world the most. That's something you're looking at constantly. That's a big part of an Elder Scrolls game.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So, I would be interested to see if they took away other things, like I was talking about, like the character models look a little bit World of Warcrafty.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see if they did that to compensate so that computers like mine could see the world in full force. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because
I'm kind of like interested to see how much I can push mine, because I don't know, like my computer's, it's not low grade, but it's not high grade. Like I can run Borderlands 2.
Yeah.
It's fairly newer game.
Yeah, and it's probably more demanding than my Oblivion. So I mean.
Oh yeah, and I can also run Guild Wars 2. I can't run it on the highest setting, but I still can run Guild Wars 2. I think I can. I run that on like mid-grade setting, and it still runs pretty decently. There's no lag or anything. So I really want to see how badly I can push it to the limit.
Yeah, because I mean, it's one of the reasons I didn't buy Skyrim for my PC. I mean, I would
You
hate.
didn't have a beefy enough computer.
Oh yeah, but I would hate to log on to a freaking Elder Scrolls game and have
And
to
not be
turn
able to play it.
the visuals down. That would be horrible
Yeah.
because that's one of the big parts of an Elder Scrolls game. As much as I hate to say it, because I really don't usually judge a game by its visuals, but for a game like Skyrim, it's pretty important. I mean, Elder Scrolls Online, it's pretty important.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean, because like I think I looked at the specs for Skyrim. My computer can technically run it. I just don't have enough RAM. Because I think they want you to have like 4 gigs of RAM, and I only have 3.
and it is absolutely possible to have a great looking environment without the best graphics in the world. Like I told
Yeah.
you, like
There's that.
so they could if they did it right. I almost said easily. It probably wouldn't be that easy, but if they did it right, they could have a great looking environment with worse graphics, so that people with not so great computers could see that really nice environment. Like for example, like I told you, I was playing that Alien vs Predator game. The new one they made in 2010. You can tell that the graphics are not like fucking as new as some of the shit that's come out, like Call of Duty Ghosts or fucking Skyrim.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, dude, that fucking Alien vs Predator game, I played as a Marine first. They did it all so well, including the visuals. That's probably the only game I've ever played that actually scared the shit out of me when something popped out. Like it was like it's all fucking dark and just it looks like an alien movie, and then you're going around with just your flashlight that also looks fucking real, and they've also got the detail of like stuff on the lens of a flashlight which shows up in the light on the wall. You know what I mean? It's like it's just they do it really well. Like for anybody to get an example of what I'm talking about, I recommend you look it up, like on YouTube or something.
Yeah.
It's just done so well, but then you get out in the light and stuff, and you look at this texture on the hill, and you can tell that they now have the best graphics in the world. You know what I mean? So you can absolutely achieve awesome visuals with low grade graphics.
Yeah.
So that's something I really hope they focus on, just because of the importance of the world in an Elder Scrolls game.
Oh, definitely. And like the other thing, music. Music has always been a big thing about the Elder Scrolls game.
I am confident on their abilities in music, because they made the smart choice of having somebody that does such great fan work on YouTube for music, for Skyrim and stuff like that. They actually hired her to make actual music for the game.
Oh my god.
If I don't know if that's a sound of distress or not, but if it is, go on YouTube and look up Malika.
No, like I'm geeking out.
Oh, I see. Oh, you know who I'm talking about, don't you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, you that magnificent creature. Anyway,
I'm geeking the hell out.
like, have you not heard it yet? Like, there's a song that they have on the trailer for the game that's the song she made.
Yeah, I do believe I have heard it in like. I just. God.
I didn't mean to give you a geekasm on the podcast here.
Oh. But I mean, but you know what I mean. Like everything, like music is always sounding right. Like all the sound effects are like sounding right too.
Yeah, sound effects is also important. I mean, once again, just to bring it back to the Aliens vs Predator games, because they did so much well. Like, if they had shitty sound effects on that game, it probably wouldn't be half as good, because, I'm in a fucking jungle, and I'm only worried about aliens right this second. But then I hear, like, the fucking gargle of a predator in the background. I was like, oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. Don't do that shit to me. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
you're absolutely right. Sound effects are also a big part. Well, I'm
Yeah.
confident in their ability to at least get good music because they obviously have a good ear for it if they chose her. That's
Yeah.
also another big part is the sound effects, which I guess that is one thing I'm kind of worried about after watching some of the footage at QuakeCon. I mean, obviously they still have plenty of time to improve on that, but uh, actually I was watching some of the QuakeCon stuff with my aunt, who was also a fan of the Elder Scrolls, and she brought up the point that through that whole QuakeCon thing, she actually didn't hear any music. And I'm saying, well, I'm sure they'll have some music in the actual game. They just didn't for this, but I still worry. Naturally, I mean, but also one of my actual gripes with it was I heard this bow, and I mean they're using this bow a lot in the QuakeCon thing, and it's just I don't know, it's not quite.
Bowie.
Well, yeah, but it sounds it sounds like the first bow. Like if you're into archery, you'll know what I'm talking about. It sounds like the first bow you will ever get. It's like 10 pounds to draw back, and like sounds like a little pussy bow when you fire it off. that's what this bow sounds like. It sounds like a bow, but it doesn't sound like a very good bow.
Right.
Like it sounds like somebody torqued a string and like fucking strummed it like a guitar to make the sound effect. um, like an elastic string, I mean, because you know it had that wispy sound like.
Yeah.
But as for the other weapons, like when they're fighting around, that sounded all right actually. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
When you know the web is clanking and shit. But one thing I'm worried about as far as the combat, it almost looked too much like an MMO and not enough like an Elder Scrolls game. You know what I mean? The combat, because technically speaking, they've done some great stuff with the combat. In contrast to MMOs, but as in contrast to the Elder Scrolls, the way it looks at least, it looks too much like an MMO. Like even though the Elder Scrolls combat has never been the best function wise, you know what I mean? Like you can't get all advanced with it and like fucking parry this, do that, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
but
it
you
has
could.
something that some MMOs don't.
It was impactful.
Walking.
It was impactful though. Like the combat in the Elder Scrolls was impactful. Like when I was running in Skyrim, my fucking dual swords, even though I couldn't block, which didn't make any fucking sense. Which, by the way, they did actually fix that in ESO, which I am glad to see. But when I would go in with my two swords and just fucking tear a room of bandits apart, I'd feel like a badass because you got like fucking just like tearing through them all, and it's like sound effects is kind of important, and not to mention you being right there, and that thing looking like it's engaging you specifically, not just swinging at the air. You know what I mean? That's important. Which, unfortunately, in the ESO footage I saw, it kind of felt like swinging at the air. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, once again, I'm sure they'll have plenty of time to.
Yeah. But you know, we at least have to say something, otherwise they might not know. You know what I mean? So we should at least say something like our podcast or the forums, and let them know, like, hey, this is probably something you should improve by the time the game comes out, in case you didn't already know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So making this video, I'm absolutely taking into account that they have plenty of time to fix this, and they might already know about it. But I feel like if I don't say something about it, I may have helped them do it wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean, the Elder Scrolls
definitely. It's kind of like not really on topic, but you remember like that huge outrage about the Xbox One and how everybody got pissed off about it?
Oh,
so
yeah.
they changed it.
Yeah.
Like feedback matters. Feedback always matters.
Absolutely.
I mean, clearly Microsoft changed their mind. They were like, oh, maybe we should not do that then.
Yeah, I mean, I'm also off topic. Personally, I'm not buying an Xbox One just because I feel like something like that should never got past the drawing board. But that's just me.
Yeah, I mean, if I had money, I'd get a PlayStation 4. I mean, hands down.
Yeah, same here. So, yeah, the feedback absolutely matters. We even have an example of this in ESO where people were upset about it being only third person.
Yeah.
Uh,
I can get why people would gripe about that, and I can also see why people wouldn't gripe about it because like third person is kind of cool.
yeah, but to me, like with an Elder Scrolls game, the point of the whole game has always been to put you right in that person's shoes. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, in first person definitely helps that, and good first person at that definitely helps that. Like, one thing I don't like about a lot of first person shooters is just because it takes you out, no other reason at all, just because it takes you out of the experience just a little bit. I look down, and I can't see my fucking legs.
Yeah.
And in some ways, the way the Elder Scrolls games do it, they have one instance of your body for first person, they have another instance entirely for third person.
Yeah.
But and sometimes the first person can feel a little bit stiff. You know what I mean? I got a mod for Oblivion, which basically puts the first person camera on the third person body. And it actually makes the game feel a lot more natural and fluid in a way that just putting the first person camera on the third person body just did that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, so immersion and attention to detail are definitely a big part of that. Like for one thing, I'm actually kind of impressed with their attention to detail because, like, in one part, even in some ways better than other Elder Scrolls games, just because they're different people, they have other things they can bring to the table on top of what's already been made. You know what I mean? Like for example, as somebody that does parkour, something like this can bother me a little bit. Like you see people in movies like going from like fucking a mile up in the air and just like landing normally on the ground.
Yeah.
Bitch, you would break your
fine
legs.
physics itself.
Yeah, you would break your legs, first of all, but like I saw some really early Elder Scrolls Online footage, and he jumped off a ledge and actually rolled when he hit the ground. I was like, oh, that's an interesting detail, actually. I like that.
Yeah.
So,
as opposed to like taking fall damage.
that too. Like, it definitely helps a lot for all audiences to have more attention to detail.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, I'm a little, not entirely, but I'm a little worried about this, about the creatures in the game suffering from MMO syndrome. In both visuals and the way they're actually produced. Like
the MMO curse.
like, there's an MMO I have where they have like the same model of the creature, like just altered in like maybe color schemes or slightly different ways, and then it's like apparently a whole new type of creature that's tougher. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which and as well some of the visuals of the creatures in ESO seem a little bit MMO to me. You know what I mean? Like in a bad way. Like, for example, you get those big ones and they're all crazy and abstract, but not necessarily in a good way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And also, even though they did it completely right in this instance, I'm worried about them doing it wrong in another instance. Like I talked about that slightly alternate creature being tougher thing. And actually the cinematic trailer for the ESO, they had not only werewolves, but zombie werewolves. So, now, like I said, in this instance, that worked. Like, you see the eyes and you hear the werewolves growling, and then you see the hand, it's like, oh, fuck, it's a zombie too, I'm out. You know what I mean? They did it right there, but I'm worried about it being more like MMOs in other places. You know what I mean? Where it could just be that alternate look for slightly different look for the creature, or some kind of alteration. It's supposed to be a completely different creature. That could definitely weigh it down a little bit if they don't do that right.
Definitely have to like not try to like not too much, because like, well, because then it would like be like any other MMO, and then it would just it would fit well.
In some ways it's okay, like the werewolf thing I was just talking about, but if they do it everywhere, then I'll feel like I'm just walking through the other MMO I played, which I can get for free, so why the fuck buy Elder Scrolls Online? You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, another thing I was concerned about early on in PvP, some things I noticed in other MMOs, I go into a PvP area, and this is supposed to be a PvP area that's uniquely for my level area, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I go in there, and I get my ass handed to me by one guy with a bow. What the fuck? He like kills me in 2 hits, and I can't do shit to this guy, apparently. It's like, I'm wondering how they will make sure the PvP will stay even and fair. You know what I mean? Because I don't know how the fuck this guy did it, but apparently he has some kind of trick up his sleeve that I can't comprehend, because he's the same level as me, has the same access to all the things I do. So what the fuck?
You know, I think I remember like way, I don't know how long ago it was, but like I remember them talking about like their PvP system. Like I'm assuming it's still the way it is now, but from what I understood, everybody was the same level.
Oh, actually, I think I remember them saying something like that. So basically, yeah, what you're saying is, when you're in the world and stuff, you'll have, all your leveling and shit and all your goodies, but when you actually go into the battleground, you will all, literally speaking, be on the same grounds.
So nobody's higher than the other one, and nobody's lower than the other one.
That could be both good and bad.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it, that could be both good and bad. Good because it'll prevent stuff like what I was talking about happening, but bad because what if I want to sneak around and flank some guys, but I'm not very good at it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm wondering how they'll handle that as well.
It could be they can handle it a number of ways. I mean, like I'm trying to think of a game that like really does it like really well. I haven't really played an MMO and actually gone to PvP in like a while, because I usually get my ass handed to me.
To give an example to everybody what I'm talking about when I'm talking about the MMO I played, it was a free one that people may have seen it advertised around. I mean, it still gets advertised sometime. Shia, you might have even heard of it, Chivi.
Oh yeah.
From what I can tell, it's almost like a WoW knockoff, but it's a good one at least. But it still suffers from that MMO syndrome, kind of. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like once I start playing, I could play it for fucking ever. But it still has those quirks that I would not want to see at all in ESO.
But yeah, like I could just list them off. The PvP systems that I've dealt with, Guild Wars 2, Rappels, Grand Chase, Champions. I mean, like, every single fucking one of those, like, I always get handed, because somebody's higher level, somebody has better shit than I do, because they have money. They have they have more real money, so like they can get the better shit. That would be something I wouldn't like.
Yeah, it seems like the way they're putting everybody on a level playing field, it seems like they're gonna make sure that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Though I would
I
be
would
kind of
hope.
worried because I kind of want to go into battle with my little rogue look going on. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So I'm wondering how that's gonna work too. Like maybe if you have like special armor and shit that you have like heavily fucking enchanted that will make you practically fucking invincible on a battlefield. Will they like let you have the equipment but take the enchantments off or something? I don't know.
I
It's,
don't.
I guess that's something we'll have to see when we actually get in the beta. So that's one of those questions we have to play the beta and answer, I guess.
Yeah.
Uh, Actually, I have played another MMO, but I don't really think of it as an MMO just because it's so different and well done, actually. You probably don't even know this is an MMO without me telling you because you played it. APB is actually an MMO, Chivi. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
But it doesn't really seem like one, does it? It's set up in a completely different
Yeah.
way.
Yeah. Not normally people wouldn't be all like, wait, what? I thought this was like a normal game. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, and that, I mean, yeah, I see what you're saying. And even when some motherfuckers got beefy weapons on them, I can still head in there with my rented fucking sniper rifle because I'm a free player and take him out. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's APB is set up pretty well from that standpoint. You wouldn't even know it's an MMO. So I'm hoping that I can see that kind of uniqueness from ESO because it really needs to have that.
Yeah. Like, well, and then like another well, cause they said like the whole continent of like Cyrodiil that's like that's all only for PvP, nowhere else.
Right.
Okay, good, cause like in past experiences, like one of the more recent ones that I was playing, and it's free. It's called Repels. Like, so there's this certain part where like and like the like normal like basic world thing or whatever, and there's this bridge, and every fucking time there's these group of fucking people who just sit there and wait and fucking kill you every fucking time.
You know, that reminds me actually of Red Dead Redemption Online. Because you would have these people where you're just fucking minding your own business on your horse, riding into what's it called, armadillo, and then
Yeah.
it's like you're even literally doing specific types of locomotion so that people won't take you as a threat, and then these fuckers will just shoot you off your horse, and granted, there is a friendly free roam, but then that takes out some of the fun if you do want to do PvP with somebody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But so you just got these dicks. They're like, well, I'm gonna fuck with you now because you're like one guy on your own. And I got this posse, and literally the only fucking repellent that works, only that somebody fucking told me to do, and I didn't think this would work until I fucking tried it, but literally the only thing I could do to get them to stop doing that is after they fucking killed me once for no goddamn reason, I'd literally just chase them down and fucking try to kill them as hard as I fucking could until they'd fucking quit the game. But that's kind of a pain in the ass. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but like, so, I mean, like, this was like before I knew anything about the game, but like, I just saw, people after people, people were just trying to fucking cross that bridge, and these motherfuckers trying to fucking kill everybody, just pissing me off. So like, I didn't realize that there was like a way around it. So it doesn't matter if nobody was there like on the outer sides, but if you were coming into the city from that bridge, you would still die because there would be fucking those people still fucking there. So it didn't matter if you were leaving or coming in, those fucking bitches fucking be there and kill you. And I'm like, God fucking damn it.
Yeah, that would happen a lot in Red Dead Redemption. Like a fucking posse, people for no goddamn reason whatsoever, just to be dicks, fucking trolls, would just sit there and claim a fucking road so that nobody could get past it. Now, a way they could fix this in ESO is like an APB, you know how they just have everybody free roaming around the map, and you can't really kill each other for a reason. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you somebody committing a crime, or you're in a match together. You know what I mean? You,
Uh-huh.
you just can't kill each other. It's not possible. So that would be a good thing to have in place, and that's what I would imagine they have in place. Since they do have those designated PvP battlegrounds.
Well, I mean, that's why I was just saying, like, Cyrodiil is the continent or not continent, province, I don't know why I say continent, just for PvP. So, like, everywhere else, I don't think would be affected by that.
I don't think so either. Except for maybe the one exception, like in Shia, they have this little system where you can actually go up to a person and actually challenge them to a duel, which is good. I like that. That's fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it's your own damn fault if you choose some guy that's gonna fucking wipe the floor with you.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, like, Champions did that too. Like, you could just, like, right click on somebody and then, like, you can, like, you know, say I want to go against this person, and like this fucking like thing comes from like space, hits the fucking ground, and that lets everybody know that you challenge that guy, and like everybody around you will be fucking watching, or like either you're kicking the guy's ass or the guy's kicking your ass. I think that's how it works in Borderlands too.
Oh, that's pretty cool. They didn't have somebody. They didn't have anything that they didn't have anything that telling in Shia. Like it was just between you and the guy, and you pretty much you were the only two that knew you were fighting until people saw you killing each other.
Yeah. Well,
it wasn't like this big thing. It's like, oh yeah, these two are fighting. Let's fucking go. You know what I mean?
yeah. Like well,
that sounds really fun. So I'd actually like something like that. Maybe not so dramatic, just because that might take you out of the world if something falls out of the fucking sky randomly. This is Elder Scrolls, not fucking. I'm just gonna fucking have a heyday with this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, like maybe like a sword planted. in
Yeah,
the
yeah.
ground or something.
Like maybe like the challenger will like take just a generic sword out of the ground, like fucking just throw it in the ground or something. So like I'm
Yeah.
fucking challenging you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that would be that.
That would work.
I would like to see that. That would actually be really cool.
So, and that's kind of a cool way to test like how good you're doing. Maybe like if the guy kicks your ass, you could just say, "Hey, how are you so good?" You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So that's also a learning experience for people.
definitely. Yeah.
I'm kind of curious as to how intricate the magic system will be in Even Alchemy. Like I know they have those in there. They've already said
Yeah.
they do, but I'm wondering how intricate it'll be because I remember I would just with my assassin character, I would just sit there and just fucking make a bunch of poisons and then go use them in my Dark Brotherhood contracts. You know what I mean? and it was really intricate in what you grab, and I even memorized some of the things I need to grab to make what I want to make. Like healing potions is a fucking blue mountain flower and wheat. You know what I mean? Just that's the easy shit to get. And then I also prefer the Oblivion enchanting system to the Skyrim enchanting system because it was also a lot more intricate. Like I like the user-friendly UIs in Skyrim, but I really like how intricate the stuff in Oblivion was. It was a lot more intricate than it was in Skyrim, and they kind of had an excuse for that. It was like, oh, when the High Elves sacked Cyrodiil and the Imperial City, we lost a bunch of stuff at the Arcane Universities. It's like, okay, sure, but I still miss it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I would definitely hope to see a really intricate magic system and stuff like that, because a lot of people enjoy that, and I personally at least use it. You know what I mean? Like, in Skyrim you couldn't do this, but in Oblivion you could make your own spells and shit.
Yep.
And
I remember
then
doing that.
yeah, and that was cool. And there would also be you didn't have the same restrictions when enchanting stuff that you did in Skyrim. You could literally put anything on anything. Like, if you really wanted to, you could literally just make a fucking suicide ring. Like, they actually had one in the game that somebody used. Like, the character just equipped the ring, and he fucking set himself on fire. He just died in a second. And you could literally make that for yourself if you wanted to. That's just how intricate it was.
Yeah, because I think I had a open lock for every skill level there was. And I had a couple of illusion spells too. I really missed that
Oh
from
yeah,
Oblivion.
they didn't have the open lock spells in Skyrim, did they? I
No,
forgot.
they didn't.
I forgot about that. Oh,
You just walked, picked your way.
also lock picking, another thing which I actually did see some footage of, and I'm happy that I saw that footage. I did not like the lockpick system from Fallout and Oblivion. That lockpicking system kind of sucked. There was really no skill
Yeah,
to it whatsoever. It was just random, and you had
yeah,
to fucking feel it out to actually get it right. And if you ever exit out or you had to reload a save game, it would be different. It wasn't like Oblivion where you actually had to go in there and you had that X-ray vision of like the fucking tumblers, and it actually took some skill to get that lock undone. Like I
uh-huh.
could be a novice lockpick in the game, but just because I'm so experienced in doing the locks, I could do a very hard lock. It would take a while, but I could do it.
Yeah,
It wasn't like fucking Sky. It wasn't like fucking Skyrim where I just fucking have this tedious use all of my fucking lock picks and never get this thing open, just because I literally have no idea what I'm doing because I can't. There's no possible way to.
yeah,
So, but they actually brought the system from Oblivion back that I saw in some ESO footage, so I'm very happy about that. It's a little bit updated looking, but it's still the same system. You're still in there messing with the tumblers and shit. You know what I mean? And you like
yeah,
push them down so far, and then you lock it, and just all that. So I'm really glad they brought that back in. So it also seems like they're kind of learning from the lessons of the last few games. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
I really like that about ZeniMax. I mean, I fucking love Bethesda, but it seems, for some reason, it just seems like ZeniMax listens to the people more. You know what I mean? The fans, the consumers. I don't know if you've experienced that, but that's just what it seems like to me.
Yeah, I mean, like another, like I thought it was like really cool what they did for like Skyrim with the like kill animations with
Oh yeah,
I mean like how Fallout was.
yeah, I do like those
That
actually.
was really cool.
Yeah, like
I
they're.
would I would like for something to be like that in here, but I also don't know how that would work considering it's an MMO.
Oh,
So
oh,
like
it that would actually be one of the easier of the things. Like for example, say you're playing Mortal Kombat online. You have free control over your character model all the time, but if somebody does a fatality on you, that's how it works. Or on Halo, if somebody comes up behind you and assassinates you, you're fucked. You
yeah.
know what I mean? Uh, so I don't think that would be a very hard thing to do, and I agree they probably should bring it back. But I even remember when they brought in like some new kill animations or like put kill cams on different things like fucking spells and arrows. I fucking love the arrow one so much because
Yeah.
I'm a fucking crack shot. That's why I like to use the bow.
Yeah.
And then I remember I'm like fucking at least a fucking football field away from this guy in game, and, and he's a dark figure in the snow up against a dark fortification area, and I just fucking let that arrow go and it goes to kill cam. I'm like, oh yes, and just fucking has that fire and spinning like right into the fucking guy's head. It's like yes, yes, I fucking got his ass.
I think one of the most like my one of my favorite ones is like I was just like sneaking around and like there's this guy on this bridge. So like I shot him just barely enough to get him on his head and he ragged out the fuck out.
like,
Like
like
it went through his head and like his body was just like flipping. And I was like, oh my god, that's great.
like actually, it like my little gripes with the how the combat looks like you're swinging at the air. If they were to add some like finishing moves and like kill cams and stuff like that, that would honestly almost make excusable the mistakes they made with the combat because that just adds to the immersion so well. You know what I mean? Like I keep coming back to that, but they did a good job in this field. The Aliens vs Predator game, uh, like it really puts you in the moment when this fucking alien is like trying to do his thing through your skull, and you're like pressing the trigger. It's like, no, get off, get off, get off, and then you actually finally manage to push him off by doing it enough. It's like, oh my god, get away.
Yeah.
It works. It really helps for the immersion. So if they put something like that in the game, it would really help the game out.
Yeah.
I remember.
I mean, like, I wouldn't. I mean, this is like a really big pet peeve of mine. Like when a game like tries to like put too much quick time stuff.
Oh, yeah, God of War did
Yeah.
it well, and they were the first ones to do it, I think. Well, one of the first ones. The most famous ones to do it, I guess. But then, like, they're kind of what made it famous in that time frame of the few years, and then you started seeing it pop up in every other game. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
this is not your idea. Stop using it like it is. You know what I mean?
Like, yeah. I mean, like, cause I heard I never had money, and I'm kind of glad I didn't buy it. But like, I heard like the entire point of like Resident Evil 6 was like QuickTime event, and I'm like, what?
Jeez. Yeah, like
Oh, that's horrible. You don't do that.
yeah, they had it in God of War. And, like the first time I played the first God of War, it's the first time I've ever seen it. And then they made it epic. They made it good. They used it to make you feel like you were actually doing that kind of damage to the big fucking Hydra you're killing. You know what I mean? But then I play other games, including I got the Spider-Man 3 game. It's like there's quick time events in the Spider-Man 3 game. Why? You don't even do it right, guys. Come on. Yeah, I'm gonna take your silence as a what the fuck. um. So, so no QuickTime events unless done absolutely right. But if you don't think you can, just don't do it.
Yeah. Don't. Yeah. Don't,
But
fucking bother with it.
yeah, I don't even think they're planning on doing it anyway. But the kill cams would definitely help a lot. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
I remember in Skyrim the first time I saw this one kill animation, where it was like the fucking thing from Troy where they jumped up in the air and like fucking shoved the sword through him. That was pretty fucking epic. It's like, holy shit, what did I just do?
Yeah.
So
Like, oh my god. Like, there's the arrow one, and like the other one is like when you have like, I think the Warhammer is the one where it's two-handed. I think.
oh yeah, those are pretty gruesome.
But like, so I think it was I think it was the Warhammer. I think it was actually the one of the Daedra artifacts. Like, I don't remember like what the name of it was, but I remember I was going up against the dragon, and like the kill animation.
Oh, I've seen that. I haven't done
Like-
it, but I've seen it.
Like, you go up behind it, and like you jump up and you fucking smash that shit, and it's fucking.
Yeah,
and I'm
they
like, God damn it, that was so thrilling.
yeah, they do it with the battle axe too. Like the fucking dragon's trying to whip you off, and they whip you up in the air, and you just fucking come back down with the battle axe and just fucking kill him. that is pretty fucking epic. I also remember this one. The first time I did it, like I had my two swords guy, my main guy, and then I just fucking like take out his legs with the swords, and then he's like down on his knees, and I like get fucking like I'm gonna fuck you up kind of look on my face, and I've got the two swords on his neck. I'm like, just like you're fucking gone. And then I also remember the first time, I think it was with my assassin character. Actually, I did this. Like when I was getting my skills up with the blade, like and I'd never seen this before because with the assassin I started doing like one blade, and my original guy, had the two blades all the fucking time. I literally had the same two blades through the entire fucking game. They were those Gladius style swords that the Imperial Legion has.
Oh,
I like those a lot. So I literally had those same two swords through the whole fucking game. I still haven't changed them. I just made them better with my blacksmithing skills, so they're like as good as any fucking Daedric weapon. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think I had Dawnguard, or not Dawnguard, Dawnstar. I think that's the Daedric artifact that has like a glowing effect.
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about, but I don't know what the name of it is either.
I had that one, and then I think I had another Daedric artifact sword, and those were the two that I always used.
But yeah, I remember with my assassin character, the first time I ever fucking saw this, like, I'm just fucking wailing away on somebody, and then all of a sudden it goes into kill cam, like, what's happening? And then she's fucking spins around, and it lops the guy's head off with my fucking katana I had her with. And that was great. Then there was also, when you're using two swords and you're hacking away on some guy, and you're behind him, and you'll just fucking take the two swords and just, like, stab him up through. And just fucking hold him there for a second, take it out. It's like, Jesus,
Yeah.
it's brutal. It's
Oh, fuck, brutal.
it's just And then, oh yeah, and then the one with the big battle axe. I played around with that with a new character I made, and like you fucking just take the guy's legs out, and he's on the ground. You hold it above, you just fucking take it down on his head. It's like, jeez.
Yeah. And like, actually, because like I really liked that they had like the whole thing with well, because I know I remember they had some of the Daedric artifacts in Morrowind and some of them in Oblivion too, I think. And like and obviously also in Skyrim too.
Oh yeah, that's another thing. It's nice to see them carry over those Daedric artifacts. Like what's the one I got in a couple of games? Um,
Still time.
You don't have to yell. Actually recording. Thanks.
it's okay. People know. People on YouTube know life happens. It's all good.
Fucking punch him.
That was a boy. Shit. Okay, I thought it was a little girl. I feel like a dick now.
Even more YouTube comedy gold.
Okay. Guys, please don't fucking burn me in the comments. I did not. That was totally innocent, I swear. I wasn't trying to be a dick. Trust me, I'm Irish. I'll tell you when I'm trying to be a dick. Okay.
Fuck. Well, I guess I gotta go eat.
Okay. So, yeah, one of the ones I had carry over through games was Azura Star. I got that in Oblivion, and then I got it in Skyrim, so that was kind of interesting to see that Daedric artifact reoccur in the games. And another one, I heard about it in Morrowind. That was the Skeleton Key, and you actually get that through the Thieves Guild quest in Skyrim. And you can actually keep it if you just like don't do the last mission. And it basically has the same effects as a perk that you can get if your skill in lockpicking is high enough where it just doesn't break, and you can just keep using and fucking with it, which is great for the shitty lockpicking system in Skyrim. But I completed the entire quest line with my thief person, but with my assassin I just went through and I just went to the last mission and just kept it until I get my lockpicking skill high enough.
I think the one that I got that carried over, I think, was the Wabbajack.
Oh, the Wabbajack? I actually didn't get that.
Yeah, I remember getting and being a fucking dick with that. I loved that thing so fucking much. Ugh.
And another thing that I liked in Skyrim was the whole plot of Oblivion, with Mythic Dawn being the whole cause of it.
Mm-hmm.
There was that guy in Skyrim, remember, that was like doing a Mythic Dawn museum. Apparently he was like a descendant of somebody that was in the Mythic Dawn cult.
Oh, yeah.
And then he even had all those books you had to collect in the Oblivion. And they would say the same thing if you went back and read them. It was like really cool. It was like just a throwback to the past. Like he had all that cool shit in his place. And that's also the one where you get Mehrunes' razor. But
yeah.
I just like the shit that he had. So that was an interesting piece. And back onto the topic of kill cams, another thing I liked was when I was sneaking with my assassin character. Like I would go behind somebody with a dagger, and she actually like fucking grabbed him by the face and like slit his throat, and like all fucking slow motion when she slit his throat.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, and that's just like fuck yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I did that, but I didn't have a dagger. I had two swords, so like it would do like the whole like spin in a circle while striking. So like I remember doing that a lot, being a fucking dick about that.
What else is there? You got anything?
Well, keeping with the fast travel system, I think would be a good thing too.
Oh, they do already have that. They talked about it at QuakeCon. They have if you don't know, they have this way shrine system. That if you discover these way shrines,
right.
Yeah, you can fast travel back to those whenever you want.
Forgot about that.
So you do have to explore it first, but then
Yeah.
you can fast travel whenever you want, which is fine with me, honestly. It's kind of like Fallout. You have to discover those places where you can fast travel to them.
Yeah.
So
Makes
it
perfect sense.
it inspired that world exploration part, but it didn't annoy you with that when you had to go from place to place to do a mission.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because you already had previously explored there. You
Right.
had to fucking walk all the way goddamn there.
Yeah, that's my biggest gripe with Morrowind is that you had to walk the whole damn way, which is fine. Like I mean, I make myself do that in Skyrim just because it's interesting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there's some times when you just don't want to do that. Like in Assassin's Creed 4, I want to sail my ship everywhere all the time, but there's those times when I just want to get where I'm going. You know what I mean? And you can fast travel there. So, I mean, in Assassin's Creed 4, you can just fast travel where you want to go. So, it's good to have a system like that, and they do. So,
Right. Um, is that? I think that's everything. That's everything that I can think of.
yeah. Holy shit. This video gonna be like a fucking hour long? I don't even know yet.
Yeah, I know. Shit goes to show you we could talk about fucking Elder Scrolls for a while.
Yeah, like I said earlier in the video, if there's anything I'm a fanboy of, it's fucking Elder Scrolls. So ZeniMax, don't fuck this shit up. Don't fuck up my shit. But on the bright side, if they do fuck it up, this is ZeniMax, not Bethesda. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like we can always expect that true to the core concept of the game, Elder Scrolls game, Bethesda in the future, if they fuck this up. You know what I mean?
Well, because like I think they were talking about like working closely with Bethesda about it.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
asking
Don't get me
like,
wrong, I
all,
have
all like the descriptive like lore stuff and asking just to be sure.
Yeah,
about it.
don't get me wrong. I have a lot of faith in ZeniMax. It sounds like they're really doing this right. It's just, as a longtime fan, I cannot help but worry a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I completely I can completely understand that. I mean, like
But that's not a love for the series.
just to tie this in, I mean, like, I'm sure everybody was thinking like that when fucking like Bungie left Halo.
Oh yeah.
And 343 got the rights, and then they made Halo 4.
And honestly, there's a lot of things 343 did that I didn't like, but at the end of the day, after playing Halo 4, I can say this is a consecutive Halo game. They did at least make it play right. It feels like a Halo game.
Yeah,
Out of all my complaints, this is still a Halo game, and I'm happy to say that. You know what I mean?
You would have never noticed that. Oh wait, Bungie left.
Well, you
Because
would.
It still feels like a Halo game.
You would as far as the visuals, but just nice.
Well, I mean, it feels like a Halo game. It doesn't fray away from that, and it's like it's a good thing that they did that.
Right. Like honestly, my biggest gripe with fucking Halo 4 was the armors. Honestly, I did not like the armors at all. They looked too like fantasy bullshit for me. You know what I mean? They didn't look like an awesome fucking military sci-fi thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like see, I liked I liked the fact that they did like different colors for the visors, so it wasn't just black, blue, gold, and black. Or
Yeah.
I already said black.
Well, I think we all know you mean like the silver and the
Yeah,
head,
like,
so.
and it was like, what the fuck? Like, cause I almost had like an exact, like, well, maybe not like exact, because like the shoulder pieces, there weren't really like circle parts, but like I tried to make my character look like Samus. And with Halo 4, you can almost do it because, well, one, they have a green visor, which helps. And so, like, so, whenever I'm playing Halo 4, I have the red and orange armor for that reason.
Nice. I must not have played with you when you started doing that, because I remember you're a red guy, but that was a while ago. So
Yeah.
Yeah, damn.
Yeah.
We're running out of shit to talk about. That's. Oh, something I should mention. Unfortunately, they had to wait like an hour to hear this. But something I should mention about what we're going to show in these videos about Elder Scrolls Online. We decided that we kind of got mixed messages from the user agreement when we first signed up for the beta, like when we submitted the we submitted to be invited for the beta, and then when we actually got the invitation, we kind of got mixed signals on exactly whether or not we could show footage or like how much we could talk about that was in the beta. So what we're doing right now is we're just really gonna kind of react to the thing and, you know, not really explaining exactly what's in it. I might get, you know, like a still shot or two of it, until like later when I might see a bunch of other YouTubers. If like everybody else is like doing video and shit, then it's probably okay for me to do that. But just to be safe in like the first one at least, I'm not really gonna give out too much just because we got mixed signals on the user agreement on what we can do there.
Yeah,
So-
I don't want to get like sued
Or kicked out of the beta.
or sued.
Or kicked out of the beta, I mean, come on.
I think I'd be much more worried about being sued.
I'm worried about being kicked out of the beta. This is how much it means to me, Cinemax. But yeah, so we will. So I'm sorry if we're allowed to do that, and then you don't get shit from us in the first video. But you know, if it turns out we're allowed to do that, and we see everybody else doing it, then don't worry, you will see it in the next video. So, yeah.
God, I can't believe it tomorrow.
I gotta make sure. Like, if anybody's been watching the fucking video, they can see I've been like checking for updates to the whole damn video. So I gotta make sure I get that shit working by tomorrow.
Is it all the way updated?
No, it says checking for application updates. That's all it's saying. Like a second ago when a second ago when I told you it was like finally working, it actually showed the screen I saw on your screen, and it had 0% left to load, and like the bar was all the way up, but you know everything else was working just fine. And now we're back to this again. So I don't know what's happening. I'll try to figure it out by tomorrow though. On top of me editing this fucking video. But honestly, if I have to, I will avoid editing the video and make sure this works by tomorrow, because I think that's the more important part than having this uploaded by tomorrow. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
if that turns out to be the case for everybody to take note, it is currently Thursday, November 21st. So, if it's like uploaded on the 25th or some shit, you know why.
Yeah, not like, what the fuck?
So,
Because like by then we'll already be done with the beta by then. Because it's only to Sunday.
oh damn, we only get to play until Sunday?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, it's like literally like it's 3 days if you push all the way through. And considering I won't be home until 6 on tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll be starting to play before Chivi does, but hopefully that means I'll have my bearings and I can kind of get him in the game with me and show him how to do some shit.
Yeah.
So,
Because I swear, like when I get home, I just want to jump right in.
because dude, Chivi, you and me, we gotta fucking hit up a dungeon, man.
Yeah, I know.
like
first thing,
fucking
I
immediately.
won't even give a shit. I won't even care if I'm level 1. I want to die.
For Skyrim. No, I'm kidding. This is all the fucking places. So for Tamriel.
That's for Tamriel.
But
Because like I'm looking at mine, and it's got the 100% complete, but the bar isn't blue. So like it's weird.
I'm not gonna fuck with it until after this video, but yeah. Uh, so yeah, I mean, I'm sorry viewers for the long pauses of us just fucking thinking, but we kind of want to make sure we get everything covered in this video before we stop making the video and say, oh fuck, we should have said something about this.
Yeah.
So, as annoying as it is, this is for your viewing. And actually, maybe I'll just fucking cut it out on our thinking parts. So if you hear like a strange cut, then that's why. But that's yeah. Or maybe I'll just fucking stop recording for us thinking. So yeah, I'll do that. Here's one of those cuts. Alright, we have something that's important to talk about, and that is skills. Now, in the classic... excuse me, I'm fucking stuttering, because fucking Elder Scrolls. Okay. In the older Elder Scrolls games like Oblivion, Morrowind, even fucking Daggerfall, you picked your class at the beginning of the game, and that's what you stuck with in those skills, and you could customize the class a little bit if you wanted to, but once you picked that, that's what you were. But then in Skyrim, they came out with this great thing where, like, you're in the fucking world. What do you want to do? Oh, you want to fucking hit things harder? Okay, good. You want to throw spells? Good. Okay.
Yeah.
Then you just did whatever the fuck you want. It's like, okay, these are your skills. Call yourself whatever you want to be. Like, say you're a battle mage, and basically, there's no thing in the game saying you're a battle mage, but you're like, okay, I'm a battle mage. This is what I think is important to a battle mage. Or I'm an assassin. This is what I think is important to an assassin. That's what I'm gonna get better at. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's looking like in this game they've reverted a little bit back to the older system, but kept some of the freedom of the new system. So it looks like a weird mix of the two, but I'm worried that going back to that old system at all will put you on rails a little bit too much in contrast to Skyrim. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the way they're talking, it seems like they shouldn't have even implemented that beginning choice at all. You know what I mean? Because the way they're talking, it sounds like Skyrim. But
Yeah.
they're also saying this stuff is there, so it's like, what's the point? It really is sounding like Skyrim, so what's the point of making this choice in the beginning of what you're fucking called? You know what I mean? Because that's literally all it is. Once you give people that free reign, it's a fucking title.
Yeah.
And people can see that title just by saying, okay, what are you? Oh, I'm a battle mage. I can do this and this and that. Okay. I'm this, and this is why I think it's important to this class, like I said in Skyrim. You know what I mean? So you don't really need that title, and that's all it is at that point. Once you give people that freedom, which it seems like they're doing. So I'm kind of wondering what's the point of picking your class at the beginning like that.
Yeah. Kind of like interesting, interested, not interesting. Well, just to see like how the like how they're gonna do the enchanting things, how they're gonna do like the alchemy things.
Yeah. That's a question we won't have answered till tomorrow, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Or maybe I should say fortunately, because fuck, we got accepted the beta. It's tomorrow.
Yeah.
Fucking
You'll
A.
just be able to play it before I will, cause.
Only for like an hour though.
Well, I got some important D&D stuff to do.
Oh, D&D.
Yeah.
D&D, yeah?
Yeah. Got
Wait,
me a cute
hold on.
little.
Hold on a fucking second.
What?
I think of all the things your D&D people can forgive you for missing D&D for is fucking Elder Scrolls Online.
Well, it's a weekly thing, so I have to be there.
Well, why do you have to be there? I mean, didn't you say your character was like not even in what they're doing this time around, or?
Well, actually, no. If I said that, no, that's not what I meant.
Oh,
My character actually plays a pretty big role in it,
Oh,
actually.
that's unfortunate because this is the fucking beta. You only got so much time. You know what I mean?
It's only an hour that I won't be able to. Well, two, but still.
Yeah, but still.
I'm gonna crank as much time as I can.
You've
I
only
don't
got
think
6 hours to play the beta on each day.
no.
That means now you only have like 4 hours.
But Justin, I'm not gonna sleep.
Huh?
I'm not gonna sleep.
Oh, you mean what? Wait, what? What does that do with anything?
I'm not going to sleep. Meaning I'm going to stay up and play it and not sleep.
But it's only from 4 to 10.
No, it's 4. It starts at 4 tomorrow and ends at 10 o'clock on Sunday.
Oh shit! I might not be sleeping either. Okay. I thought when I said from 4 to 10, that meant we only got from 4 to 10 to play it on that day.
No. No, if that was the case, I wouldn't be going. But that's clearly not the case.
Oh, okay. Now I get your thinking a little bit. That's what I thought it was.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not going to be sleeping on
Yeah,
Friday.
we'll be fucking good. Damn. How are we gonna squeeze in a video?
Yeah, I know, right?
Shit. We're gonna be playing it. Like maybe we'll record the audio during the video or something, or maybe we'll have enough time to see, what people are uploading or something. Maybe we'll just have to take a risk and say, but the same ZeniMax, I'm sorry, but if we weren't allowed to do this, I didn't know. But Jesus, I don't know. How would Bandit King work on the fucking ESO game thing?
You would have to constantly cut it too, because it's only 10 minutes.
Yeah, maybe I can put it in windowed mode too and make it easier on myself. Ooh, excuse me. Or maybe you can just take video of key moments that we're doing, me and Chivi are gonna fuck this shit up right here. He's got a little sexy ass dark elf there, and I've got my fucking badass rogue dude here. Okay. We're getting a little weird with this now.
It's only weird if you make it weird. Come on.
That saying still makes no fucking sense to me.
But Justin, it does.
Oh jeez, I'm excited. I'm pretty fucking...
I'm pretty fucking hyped for this.
Yeah, but we probably shouldn't bore the viewers with our nerdgasm, so I'm gonna cut it again and we can think for a second. Alright. So, another thing we're thinking about, or I thought about, I guess, another important thing, even to customization, is, the armor and weapons you're gonna get, because, like I said to Chivi when we cut, really making the look of your character is the first step, but once you get into the game, the next step of customization is getting that armor and clothes set that you want, and those weapons that you want to stick with. You know what I mean? Because that's your look, that's your thing. For example, in Skyrim, I got out of the prison shit, and then I had some basic. I think it wasn't hide armor. It was the one right above that, I think. What was that?
I don't know.
Anyway, but
It's leather.
no, I mean the same style, but the one step above that in quality. Anyway, I think everybody knows what I'm talking about, though, at least. And then I just, how you find that mage stuff in the prison when you're escaping?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I just put that mage hood on because I figured why not? It's got that enchantment. And then I go to the blacksmith thing, and I see my dude in that hood and the fucking shit, and I realize, holy shit, this looks good. You know what I mean? It's it was a great combination of those clothes, and it looked really fucking good. And that's what I've stuck with through the whole fucking game. Now I literally have this decked out fucking enchanted fucking outfit of my boots with my fucking carry weight edition, in my scaled armor, and then the fucking mage's hood. It's also custom enchanted. If anybody's wondering how I got a fucking custom enchanted mage's hood, because there's no fucking plain hoods anywhere. you get the plain hood from like a thief that's trying to rob you on the road, so that's the only way you can buy them. I don't know why they didn't fucking add another way, but that's how you do it. So yeah, I had all that, and I had my fucking ancient Nord bracers that were fucking enchanted. So, and that was my look. That's what I had through the whole damn game. So
I think I went through I did part of the Thieves Guild stuff, and then I went through like the Nightingale, the Nightingale
yeah,
stuff, and I stuck with that armor for a pretty good amount of time.
yeah.
Because that armor was fucking badass.
The only thing I don't like about stuff like that was in the Elder Scrolls games is they never took advantage of the havoc physics to have in their single player game for their clothing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that really kind of killed it because like with the cape with the Nightingale armor, it would have really benefited from some fucking havoc physics on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it was just a stiff cape that you had through the whole damn thing, and now with the Elder Scrolls Online, they can't really do that. You know what I mean? Because the havoc physics in an MMO, that'd be fucking tough.
Oh, and then the other thing also being that like smithing, like making your own weapons and making your own armor, since they already did that in Skyrim.
Yeah, they said they're gonna have that, but once again, it's like the alchemy and the magic. Like, how intricate is that gonna be?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm worried about. Like, once again, like my swords that I've had for the whole fucking game, just like my kind of style. I've had those same two swords, and they were just some swords that I picked up from Imperial people I killed because they're transporting a prisoner, and I didn't like that very much. And so I had those same swords, and I just used my blacksmithing skill that I'd fucking gotten all the way up through the whole game to just keep improving those and making those just as good as, or even better than, any other weapon out there in the game. So,
yeah.
And then I had like this enchanted stuff that also upped my smithing skill, and then I had those potions that also upped my smithing skill. So the combination of all that plus my actual smithing skills was like just fucking destroying this. These blades are fucking badass, is basically what I'm getting at. And then they have like the fucking fire enchantments on them where shit will just burst into flames while I hit them.
Yeah, I think I already know. I'm gonna go with the bow. That's what I'm gonna go with the bow.
Actually, speaking of the bow and weapons, I remember in Oblivion they had the option to like block attacks with the bow and shit, but then in Skyrim they didn't have that, which made the bow a hell of a lot less useful in close quarters combat. Because I remember in Oblivion I could just block an attack with a bow and then draw it real quick and shoot the guy, and then block and then do that and rinse repeat, and it made the bow an extremely versatile weapon. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I hope they'll have something like that in this one, because that would really up the value of a bow.
Well, because part of the reason why they had the perks that while having a bow drawn, you ran quicker, and while pulling it back, like, it would freeze time like by a certain degree.
Yeah, but that wasn't as good for combat, like I'm talking about, as the blocking was. But I do hope they have that kind of stuff too. I mean, even though I really didn't ever use that, really. But yeah. No, I mean, I didn't use the perks you were talking about. I used the bow a lot too, as well. But I didn't really ever use those perks. I just didn't feel the need to have them because I was good with the bow. You know what I mean? I never needed to zoom in. I never needed to slow down time like that. But I do hope they have those too for the people that did use that stuff.
What about well, maybe that's only a Skyrim thing.
What is it?
The shouts?
Oh, yeah, that's really only a Skyrim thing. Like, the dragons aren't even going to be... The dragons are already dead by the time this game is taking place. So, yeah.
I really
Or
like
not,
some of those fucking shouts.
Or not dead,
those
like...
shouts are, like, really cool.
Yeah, not dead, like, kind of in suspended sleep. But... I remember in Morrowind, back to the armor sets and shit like that. I remember in Morrowind they had literally, like, just every piece of the armor was detached from each other. They had the pauldrons, they had the chest piece, they had the greaves, they had the boots. And I actually went fucking crazy with that, and I'd had, like, a fucking netch leather fucking pauldron on one side, less another cuirass, fucking shitting pauldron on the other side, shitting gauntlets, fucking shitting helmet. I went crazy with that, and it looked good, you know what I mean? So I was really upset when I went to Oblivion, and they had these really big set armor pieces. Like, the cuirass included the pauldrons and even kind of some of the arm pieces as well, and then the greaves. You know, it was just all stuck together, and I didn't like it. You know, and with Skyrim, they kind of went back to Morrowind a little bit, but not enough to really give me the freedom I had in Morrowind.
Well, like one of the things that like irritated me with Skyrim is like the fact that you weren't able to actually in the menu view your character wearing the armor like you did in Oblivion.
Oh yeah.
I liked that, and I didn't like the fact that they took that away.
Like I never really noticed it, but I do agree that there would be a nice addition to have in ESO, because I do remember having to actually exit out the entire fucking menu just to see what something looked like on me in Skyrim, and it would be handy to just not have to do that. So that's another thing I hope they do, is they bring back that amount of customization with the armors, and you know, maybe they'll even add that preview thing for you.
Oh,
So
and, you know, and actually having a thing when you're underwater, because that pissed me off that they didn't have that in Skyrim.
oh yeah, like I get what they're trying to do, but you know, if you were actually underwater, you would know like how much breath you have left. That's the point of that meter. I mean, like I said, I get what they're trying to do with Skyrim. Is like they were trying to go for the immersion where you don't have a fucking meter to tell you how much breath you have left. But it kind of contradicted itself there, where in reality you would know how much longer you can hold your breath. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
like they were small things, but
you
they
know,
were small things that were like,
yeah.
God, should have been in there.
Another thing I had a gripe with in all of the games following Morrowind, actually. You remember in Morrowind, do you remember the water they had in Morrowind? How good it looked and how good it reflected the environment, and like when it rained, how fucking great it all looked.
Yeah.
And then you go to Oblivion, and it just looks flat and lifeless and looks like shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then when you got to Skyrim, it looked a lot better, but it wasn't as dynamic as the water in Morrowind. Because by dynamic, fuck, I can't talk, guys. I'm sorry. By dynamic, I mean, you know, how it had the rain in it, and it was like, you know, looked really good, like naturally, and then it also had because Skyrim didn't have that either. How good that rain dropping in the water looked, and then it also didn't have like the reflecting and all that. But Morrowind had that, and it predates all of those, so it's like, what the fuck? Where is this? If you ever watched that Game Jam thing for Skyrim, where they were, you know, just fucking around and see what they could put in Skyrim, and some of that actually turned into DLC, like the Vampire Lord was in there. They had spears in there, but that didn't make it DLC. But they also had a better water effect, which is a lot more dynamic, and it really reminded me of Morrowind, but with the Skyrim visuals, so it looked a fuck ton better than any other Elder Scrolls game. And I'm really surprised they didn't add that in there. And I think that's definitely something they should work on in ESO, is because that's part of the world, and like I said, the world's important. So
Yeah.
if I'm looking at this fucking beautiful landscape and I walk over this river and it looks like shit, then it's gonna take me out a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
Because like I remember actually in Morrowind, I would just sit there and fucking stare at the river in Balmora when it was raining because it looked that good. I really enjoyed that, as you can tell. Alright, so we're going to be playing this tomorrow, and the main questions we got to answer for you guys are the questions about, you know, the customization, both the look of your character and the weapons and armor, we've got to answer the question about the technical stuff, like how it will work on my less beefy computer. We've got to answer questions about how intricate the magic system is, the alchemy, the blacksmithing, the enchanting, all that. We got to answer the question about what else was there? Ooh, the sound effects and the music.
Yeah.
We got to answer the question about the PvP and how that'll work, and especially the PvP battlegrounds where, you know, me and Chivi are going to be on completely different sides. we got to answer the question about how multiplayer will work, like, you know, how easy it is to set up, like how I was talking about, you know, it's, from what they're talking about, it seems really similar to the Red Dead Redemption style of multiplayer. We got to answer the question about the creatures and stuff and see if they suffer from that MMO syndrome. So that means me and you, Chibi, we got to hit up plenty of fucking dungeons and see that for people.
Yeah.
Doesn't that sound like torture? Oh, guys, we go through so many hard things to give you decent content. It's just so hard for us. I mean, so yeah. Oh yeah, and combat. That's definitely one because I was worried about combat. One thing I wanna get sorted out about the PvP, the battleground PvP specifically. Like, what would the teamwork be like? 'Cause that's always something I'm worried about in a multiplayer game. There's not enough teamwork. Teamwork is like not inspired in a lot of games where it really needs to be. They really need to inspire some teamwork. Because, you know, you got these dicks that are going doing their own thing. They don't give a shit about you, and then the game fails because of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm really worried about how they're going to influence people to go and work with each other, because you would think on a huge battleground, you know, you're gonna need some teamwork if you want to get that shit done. And it seems like they're really trying to inspire that teamwork. There's a free to play game on at least Xbox. I don't know if it's on PlayStation, but it's called Happy Wars. It's a silly little game, but it's like this tower defense sort of thing, like a fort defense, and like in the fort you got your little ballista and like fucking firing the people down below. You can, you know, you gotta stop people from getting in your fort and like destroying your little tower.
Yeah.
And they did that really good to where it really requires teamwork if you want to win. And they even put little functions in the game, like little moves you could do it as a team that would like really be powerful and shit. So, and it really inspired that teamwork, and a lot of people really did work together because of that. So, I'm really hoping they have something like that in place in ESO 2, because I'd hate to be on the middle of a big fucking PvP battlefield with crazy shit going on, catapults flying, and these fuckers are leaving me in the dust. It's like, Jesus, guys, come on.
Well, maybe that's why we could do one where it's me and you, and then we can do one with me against you.
Yeah.
To see how well it actually works.
Yeah. And me and Chibi, just because we're fucking bros like this, one mission, a little personal mission of ours, we gotta do this. We gotta go into the battleground and find a reason for us to work together as enemies. So we're really gonna put ESO to the test on that one. And watch your fucking team's like gonna come and kill me. It's like, what the fuck are you doing, man? Yeah, that'll be my luck. I'm the one that gets killed. Yeah, we're gonna have to like separate from your thing if we're gonna do that. We'll see how it turns out, though. We'll see what we can do. Maybe you can convince your faction to work with mine, and I can convince my faction to work with yours, and we can go fuck the other team up.
And then settle our
So
differences then.
yeah. Then we kick the other team out. Then we have to fucking face down each other to figure out who's getting that. I'll make sure I use your team as cannon fodder, Chibi. That way, that way we're destined to win that battle. That way your team has like fucking nothing left, and our team's like all strong and shit.
I could probably take out an army just by myself. Dude, that's why I'm totally fucking assassin.
Sounds like we'll be able to work together pretty well, actually. Like I'll be like more of a rogue, and you'll be an assassin. Yeah. I'm not saying that because of the picture in my background. Okay. Anyway, because it's not the high elf chick.
Oh.
Yeah. Anywho, so yeah, we are gonna play this game tomorrow as soon as it fucking opens, and as soon as I get this shit working correctly. And we are gonna answer all these questions for you, and we are gonna tell you, is it great or is it shitty? Because that's all it is with another Scrolls game. You either get it right or you fuck it up. Let's face it. So yeah, I think that's the end of the video. We will play tomorrow, answer these questions, and hopefully we can show you something. We're going to show you pictures at least, and after that one, hopefully we can see like maybe if people are uploading video, like I said, and maybe show you that too. So, yeah.
I've been Chivi.
I'm X-Men, and this has been the Elder Scrolls Online podcast, because I can't come up with a better name. There's probably 50 other podcasts that like this one out there with the exact same name. And hopefully you enjoyed the video. And if you did, we will see you on the next one. See ya.
Bye bye.